The first thing to talk about with latex is glue and cleaner. Latex, rather than being stitched, is most of the time glued. There are one or two designers that I know of that stitch latex. That has its own kind of complications. The traditional way of assembling latex is through glue. There are two types of glue. There is a solvent-based glue and a water-based glue. I don't like or use the water-based glue. It takes longer to dry. I think it's messier. There's just differences about it. It is primarily promoted for the thinnest gauge of latex because it doesn't curl the latex when you apply it. I, however, find that I can get on with the solvent-based glues even with the thinnest latex sheeting. It takes a bit of getting used to, but I just prefer across the board the solvent-based glues. The water-based glue is often what's included in intro kits because of the postal restrictions. You need lots of certifications and special permission to be able to post the solvent-based glues. The solvent-based glue and solvent-based cleaner fall under the category of hazardous chemicals. I don't wear a mask when I work, and I don't know of anybody else that wears a mask when they work, as long as you're working in an area that isn't too confined, or if you wanted, you could open a window or have a fan. I don't think it's that problematic. I think the main issue that they have when posting it is that the vapor is flammable. So you don't want any candles or open flame or anything like that around in your workspace. But the problem with that is they can be more difficult to source than the water-based cleaner and glue. I really prefer the solvent-based, and that's what I've recommended on the list. I'm going to be working with solvent-based glue throughout, and that is what I thoroughly recommend. I've seen on blogs when I've been researching how to make latex clothing that people recommend latex milk. Latex milk is the water-based latex glue. Unfortunately, the providers in the UK, most of them do not have the approval to export the solvents to different countries. So in all likelihood, you will need to find a distributor that is within your own country because of the difficulty posting those things. That's the only material on the list that's going to be a bit tricky. I've recommended 150 milliliters, which should be enough to do a few projects. I buy in bulk because I'm doing this all the time every day, and I would buy in 5-liter containers, and they last me probably about a year, maybe a bit longer. So small quantities are really going to be fine to get started and determine if that is going to be your preference. Bostik is the company, and certain latex brands will rebrand the Bostik products with their own names. They're still the same. Don't feel you need to buy it from a latex company. So sometimes the companies that manufacture sheeting make their own cleaners and glues. They aren't making them, they are just Bostik repackaged with a different label on them. So I just look for Bostik because it usually works out cheaper that way. So on the list, Bostik glue, Bostik cleaner. In the UK, there's a product called Copydex, which I actually think smells horrible, which is surprising considering the smells of things that I've dealt with, but something I don't like about Copydex. You can use Copydex to assemble latex. I believe that, again, is like latex milk and is the water-based latex glue, but it is possible.